Welcome to episode 3 of the Road to Dopey podcast, around Disney World in 90 days, with me, Jason, and with
me, Stewart.
And also today we've got a special guest. Say hi.
Hi.
We've got Dave on, who's a friend of ours. He's going to be talking to us a little bit today about what things you should always bring to a race, what you shouldn't forget, and his experience with Manchester Marathon. Also, we're going to bring Dave in to talk a little bit about this race that happened at the weekend just gone, which all three of us were at as well. So over to Stewart, if you want to just give a quick recap about what Road to Dopey is all about, who we are, the Running Geeks, and then we will kick off with the show.
No problem. Thank you, Jason. The Road to Dopey podcast is about the Walt Disney World Marathon in January, the weekend, the marathon weekend. So that's if you're doing the 5K, the 10K, the half, the full, the Goofy Challenge, or the Dopey Challenge, which is what me and Jason will be doing in 90 days' time. Yes, that's how long it is now. 90 days left to go. How do you feel about that, Jason?
Absolutely horrendous. But hey, that's what we signed up for. That's what we're gonna do. So 90 days. If it's 90 days, it's 90 days. We make that happen. So let me bring you first a word from our sponsors. I'm only joking. We don't do that here. We're not doing this for money. We're doing it for the love.
But we are open to sponsorship from Garmin and Nike and Apple and Hoka and anybody else that would like to send us free stuff.
Anyone except for the obvious ones, yeah. We don't want to be signed up to because, yeah, we don't particularly want the product. But thanks. Cool.
We'll take free stuff.
Yeah, we'll take any free stuff. Yeah, any free stuff.
We should say who the podcast is for. Like, it's for everybody, whether it's your first race or you're just trying to get quicker. It's for everybody. We're not too bothered about times or any of that.
Absolutely, yeah. We have got a guest coming on in the next couple of weeks who was extraordinarily fast. He finished 16th, I believe, at one of the Walt Disney World marathons.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Dave, who we've got on today, is also extraordinarily quick. But this isn't a podcast about running fast. This is a podcast about running social and enjoying that whole thing. So, I think back to Dopey. 90 days until Expo. So in 90 days' time, we'll be there. Hopefully meet a lot of you other dopies who are going to be running. That'd be great to sort of see a lot of you guys there. Yesterday was the last day that you could submit proof of times. So Stewart, did you get your proof of time submitted? That's terrible.
Bit rude, Stewart. What
Sorry.
I hope it was important.
I hope that's Bell's gold.
Nobody ever phones me that's important. And it's going to phone back in a minute. Guarantee.
Come on.
Right. So, yes, I did get my time in. Yeah, I put it in about 3 weeks ago. But I believe if you have not submitted your time, then you really need to get an email to runDisney as quickly as possible, like this week, and say, "Whoa, I never submitted my time. I'm really sorry."
Yeah, absolutely. There's actually a specific email address that you have to do that. In fact, what I'm going to do for you right now is I'm going to find out what that is. So I've submitted my times. It gives you a predicted finish time. So Stuart, did it give you a predicted finish?
I'm not saying. There's no way I'm saying.
It gave me quite like a nice predicted finish. So I think it gave me like a predicted finish time of like 3:40 or 3:35 or something like that. So it gave me quite like a nice predicted finish time.
Well, then you'll be in a good corral.
I'll be in a good corral, which is great.
But I'll be in a corral in a galaxy far, far, far away. In fact, I'll be like a Star Wars race in April.
So let me tell you all now. So I've just clicked on the link to verify times, and the verification website has now been closed down.
So get that email in quick or tweet.
Get the email in. The email address was actually on the page, and the page is now gone. The company is called Track Shack Results. So I'm pretty sure the email address was disneysports@trackshackresults.com. But if you go to trackshackresults.com and contact them through their website, you should be able to do something. But you need to get your proof of time, and otherwise you end up in Corral Z.
Well, the corrals only. Well, last year the corrals only went up to Corral L. That's quite a lot. Yeah. It's like, if you can see that, all the way back there. So it's about another mile you've got to go to get to the start line.
Have you ever met anyone, Stuart, who started in Corral L, and did they tell you how long they were in there for before the start of the race?
No, but if we have some listeners that did do last year in Corral L, maybe they'll let us know.
And Dave, just from your, have you ever done? Because I don't think most races in the UK are that bad, but Great North Run is pretty bad for that. Have you ever done that one?
I haven't. I ran London in 2013, and that started in Pens, and you can start a little bit far back, and I think that's based on time as well.
Yeah. So I think if you've not sort of made your time, that 5:30 starting time, I think I would probably expect that to be closer to 7:30 than 5:30. So
I don't know what time I started last year. I don't even know what corral I was. Actually, I was in Corral I last year, which is quite far back, and I think we set off about an hour afterwards.
Yeah.
And then I remember at least 35 minutes into the race, since I'd started, I could still hear fireworks. There were still people starting quite a lot later than me.
So you're looking at least an hour and 45 minutes, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, make sure you're there on time.
Indeed, indeed. And if in doubt, find the Dopey group on Facebook, and the guys in there will know the answer. So in terms of this week's news, London Marathon was the big thing this week. So Stuart, did you hear?
I did indeed hear.
That's a smiley face. It sounds like you got the result you wanted.
The question is, what result did I want? Yes, I did hear, and I didn't get in, so that is a good thing.
Dave, did you apply for the ballot?
I did indeed.
You in?
No.
It looks like Dave wanted to get in.
I got a rejection email. Did not even get a magazine.
Yeah, so I think I'm in the same boat here. So I don't know about you, Stuart. I don't know if you got Spider-Man. Dave's camera's gonna go. So yeah, I got rejected as well, but I got the email, so I didn't get the magazine this year. I didn't get Spider-Man. Did any of you get the magazine?
No.
No email, no magazine for me. Just a boring email.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed actually with London Marathon's effort there. I think it's a bit poor. How many times have you entered now, Dave, and been rejected? I know you did it in 2013, but
11, 12. I think it's 4 entries, and I got in the ballot once.
Yeah.
So one set of 4 attempts is not bad.
What about you, Stuart?
3 times entered, 0 places.
Same. So I'm 3 ballot entries and 3 rejections. So
consecutive years as well.
yeah, same. Same. I don't know. I always say this at this time of year, and then when April comes around, they always re-enter the ballot. But right now, I'm just kind of like, I don't think I'm going to enter the ballot again. I don't know if it can be asked with London anymore. I think it's too. I think they're ruining it by like making it so elite when the actual ballot they only allow such a small number of people in, and actually all the places are saved for celebrities and high-profile people and charity places and the charity places are really the expectations are really high. So you're expected to raise kind of £2,000 to £3,000, and if you don't raise that cash, they have your credit card and they just take the money from your credit card. So yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to bother again. Are you guys still willing to do it?
Can you?
I don't know. I'm quite used to rejection. I'm from Manchester. It's like rejection is part of life. So that's my thing.
Manchester life.
Part of Manchester life. It's part of being northern. So it's a northern thing, isn't it? Just being rejected for everything. Yeah, it's just one of them things. Cool. So the only other thing really this week, well actually there's some Disney news actually that we were going to cover it in just a second, but something a bit more local to us is the Alley Cat race. So the Alley Cat race, which is where the shirt's from, happened this weekend. We mentioned it last week on the podcast. The Alley Cat race was run by a local Manchester running group called Stewart runDisney. It was a checkpoint race, so it was designed in the format of fixed gear Alley Cat races. So you essentially get a manifest with a list of checkpoints and then a list of things that you have to do, and you basically go off and do those things. So we were all there. Oh look, Stewart's just had a quick change of t-shirt. He's got his Alley Cat t-shirt on. I think Dave's just going to do the same. There he is. Look, there we go. Look at that.
I should say I didn't actually run this. I was volunteering, but I got a t-shirt no less. Thank you, Dave.
And it was well deserved, Stuart.
Yeah. So we all did the Alley Cat in some guys. So it was a good day actually. It started quite early on in the morning. It was freezing cold. We all went to the track and we had a game of Devil Takes the Hindmost in small groups of kind of 5 and 6. If you don't know that game or you're not into track racing, essentially the idea is you do 4 laps around the track, and every lap somebody basically gets dropped out. But the idea is that you don't go as fast as you can. It's a bit of a mental game of who's going to be the first person to set off and play it like that. So it can be quite interesting. So we did that first and foremost. Did you guys?
That's why setting teams though, isn't it? To get people of similar ability in teams. Is that correct?
I think that was what they originally planned to do, but in the end they ended up just using 10k times. So the game in the morning was actually just to give people points.
Oh right.
Yeah. But the original plan was to use that to sort of put people in the right pace groups in the evening. I think that because there was quite a few people who didn't turn up, they had to kind of change the format slightly.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Dave, what did you think of the morning bit?
I quite liked it. It was maybe a bit earlier than it could have been, but I did quite enjoy the elimination process and then racing Kyle and.
Yeah, Dave was quite quick actually, and I think he won his group.
Dave is always quick.
Apart from when I'm injured, I've got a sore glute at the moment.
Yeah, Dave managed to pull his bum, so we both cycled to the track actually for the morning session, and we had all day to wait before the evening session. The actual main event didn't start until 8 o'clock at night, and then we had to cycle home. And for Dave it was about 9 miles cycling home, and the event didn't finish until after 1 o'clock in the morning. So it was a fairly long day, and with a pulled bum, I can't imagine it was too pleasant. But the evening was really good fun. It was really hard work for kind of those who run it, and it was really hard work for those who volunteered. So poor Stewart came back and was absolutely shivering because he'd been stood out in the cold for hours and hours and hours. So do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience, Stu?
Yeah, well, there must have been about 20 volunteers that were given different locations in Manchester that the runners had to go to. Yeah, and all the volunteers were spread out throughout Manchester, different places, so the runners would run to them to acquire a certain level of points. So the further out the volunteer was, the further the checkpoint, the more points you got. So I was stood way out in the sticks of Salford.
Yeah.
And it was freezing there. But luckily, these two guys came and showed some love.
We did.
Because I was stood out there for like 2.5 hours, just dancing away, entertaining myself.
Yeah. It's and you really have to kind of put your hand out up to the volunteers who do stuff like that, and not just volunteers. There weren't crowds cheering at this race because it was a fairly low key affair. I think there was only about 70 people who entered, and yeah, it was fairly low key. So there wasn't people cheering on the streets, but I always say, and if there's a race local, you should definitely get down and cheer if you're not running it, because those people who are cheering make all the difference. They're the people who get you the PB. The training helps. The training does wonders, but the reality is that those people on the streets who are cheering, they're the ones who are really kind of getting you through the pain and misery of running at race pace. So there's just one more bit of news, I think. Then, Stuart, do you want to just cover that one little bit off?
Disney announced today the race dates for next year, 2017. Actually, the dates for all the Disney races. I'm just going to try to pull them up right now. And I can't find them. But they are on Instagram on runDisney. Let me do a quick search. Going back to what you were saying about volunteers, you can actually offer to volunteer for Disney. So yeah, if anyone would like to volunteer for Disney, there is a process, and you get points towards free entry, and you get a free T-shirt, and you get a free like a jacket. So if you're doing the marathon, it's a nice idea to do the volunteering for maybe the 5K or the 10K, get you into it. I can't find these dates. They're not on Instagram.
Well,
Facebook.
Our guest last week, Caitlin, she mentioned that she's going to be coming down cheering at the marathon this year because she's not running it, and she particularly pointed out that there was a point on the marathon where she really felt like she needed support and there was no one there. So this year she's given up her day to come down. She's going to stand at that exact point where she felt like she needed that support and give it back. So and if you missed last week's show, she's going to bring all the medals and she's going to attach them all to a big board, and you'll be able to touch the medals as you go past for power. So yeah, thanks to all those kind of people, it's what makes races much more fun. So what are these dates, Stuart?
The dates are for the Disneyland Half Marathon weekend, September the 1st to the 4th, 2016. Wine and Dine is the 4th to the 5th of November 2016. Avengers is the 10th to the 13th of November 16. And then you've got January the 4th to the 8th Walt Disney World Marathon weekend 2017. Star Wars Half Marathon 12th of January to the 15th of January 2017. Disneyland Princess Half Marathon weekend, that's one for you, Dave. February 23rd to the 26th, 2017. And then you've got the Star Wars half marathon Dark Side at Walt Disney World, and that's April the 20th to April the 23rd, 2017. So perhaps if you don't feel like you're fully there with the training, you've got at least a year to train for those races.
So I'm pretty sure you just said 2 Star Wars events.
Yes.
What's that all about?
Well, there's 2 Disney resorts in the USA. One is on the West Coast and one is on the East Coast.
That's
Florida,
that just
Florida and Anaheim.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but it seems strange that they would do 2 unless there was something particular happening in April 2017, which would warrant.
No, there's one this year as well. They got rid of the race.
Okay. So they're doing 2 this year as well. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that. My bad.
Well, it's for the people that are from Florida that can't do the Star Wars. Obviously, Star Wars is extremely popular, so they thought they would bring it to Florida because it was extremely popular last year in LA.
I wonder if you'd get an extra medal for doing Star Wars on each coast.
Yeah, you can apply for the Coast to Coast medal.
But like,
Yeah.
on top of like coast to coast, so like
A Rebel Challenge.
yeah, but like yeah, almost like I don't know whether it's like I don't know what it could be, but almost like maybe you get a Millennium Falcon if you do like both sides of the country or something. But it just feels like Disney should reward you for doing Star Wars coast to coast.
Well, as of yet, they haven't announced that, but they haven't even announced the medals yet for us.
Very true. Actually, we
I am hoping it's going to happen as soon as possible, but we might have to wait now until the Wine and Dine, which is like the first week in November.
That seems like a long time away, doesn't it?
You can see the pain on Stewart's face.
The medal is my face.
No, you can see the pain on Stewart's face that he won't know until the 1st of November.
Yeah, I can see that pain. I can feel that pain too. We want to know what we're gonna get. Somebody at Disney we want to know what we're gonna get. Like we're putting a lot of shit into this. We want to know what we're getting. Yeah, cool. Well, yeah, as soon as we know what the medals are, we'll bring them to you. We'll show them on the video podcast. We'll show you what those medals look like. We'll do a bit of a screen share and show you what you're gonna get. Cool. So I think one of the things that's becoming a bit of a regular feature on Road to Dopey podcast is race t-shirts. So the last couple of weeks we've been wearing Disney ones. I'm currently wearing my Alley Cat one for the race that I just been talking about. Dave, tell us about your t-shirt.
Mine's from the Manchester Marathon earlier this year.
And you got a pretty good time at Manchester Marathon this year, I believe.
I did 3 hours, 7 minutes, a couple of minutes off good for age, and it was a good PB for me as well.
Well done, Dave.
Yeah,
but I did get a lot of support on the route at mile 21 from Stewart and Jason themselves as well.
We did. We saw Dave en route actually, and I was. If you were at Manchester Marathon, so if anyone was at Manchester Marathon and you ran past the guy irritating everyone with the megaphone, that was me. I was that guy. Yeah, so we did see Dave at mile 21, and he looked fresh actually. We were a bit blown away how quick he reached us and how fresh he looked. I think
did pass us.
Yeah, he did. And I think his story is that after he left us, he didn't feel quite so fresh anymore. But
well, that was it. It was like holding to mile 21, knowing that you corner, and then just thought, oops and easy. Like pace went a little bit, but didn't have that far. Well, didn't have much further left.
It was good. The weather was good for Manchester actually last year, or this year in fact. It can be a bit hit and miss. Manchester Marathon is usually the week before or 2 weeks before London, depending on how days fall. It's all ran from Manchester United's football ground, so aka the Swamp. Gotta get it in.
Opinions vary, Jason. Opinions vary.
Yeah, opinions vary. But if you don't think the United is shit, you're wrong. But nonetheless, so yeah, so the date does vary a little bit, but Manchester Marathon weather is very hit and miss. So because it's in April, you can either get a really nice sunny day, or you could be running in -1 degrees and rain. So, Stuart, what shirt are you wearing today?
This is the Wine and Dine Half Marathon 2012, which was my very first half marathon.
I can see a big golf ball on your t-shirt.
That's no ordinary golf ball. That is Spaceship Earth.
I think that's your favourite ride, isn't it, at Disney?
Yes, it's my favourite ride at Epcot Centre, narrated by the great Dame Judi Dench. Jason has never actually been to Epcot Centre or Walt Disney World, so he will be experiencing that in January.
I'm far from the last to have ever experienced anything like that.
Have you ever been to Florida, Dave?
What, was that to me, sorry?
Yes.
Yes, I haven't, no. It's not my cup of tea.
Way to alienate half of our audience. But
If that did anyone, I do apologise. It just hasn't invested me at this point in my life.
well, Dave is much younger, so he does have more time to mature. And his thoughts to evolve.
I think he's just been too busy watching repeats of Frozen, to be fair.
That probably is very true.
Don't tell everybody, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just going to move on to training, because I think, obviously, if you were listening in last week, you'll know that Stewart had started his training, and I, on the other hand, haven't. And it's getting obviously very, very close. So how did your training go last week, Stewart?
Well, the previous week I had started and done, well, I was only meant to do 10k, but I ended up doing 9 miles. So coming off injury, I was really quite pleased to be doing that kind of distance. And then I did on Sunday 12 miles with you.
You did indeed. So that was my first long run back into long distance training. So I had actually a fairly good week. I was off work last week, so I spent most of the week out on my bike riding. So Friday particularly, I did kind of just under 90k on the bike, and then Saturday I did the Alley Cat race. Plus I did about 25k on the bike as well. And then Sunday I did 12 miles. So by the end of Sunday, I was very tired, shall we say. So I took Monday off, and then just did a gentle 5k last night, and ran with a friend of mine. So yeah, actually, I feel really good, feeling quite confident. 12 miles was fairly easy. It was fairly straightforward. We kept the pace nice and steady.
It was a good route as well, because it was like the hard part was for the first 6 miles was pure uphill, and then on the way back, after 6 miles we turned around and came back, which was downhill, which was it was good. We were getting a bit of pace there at the end, I thought.
Yeah, we definitely speeded up towards the end. But yeah, it was. You're right. It was a fairly good route. It was a good way just to kind of get ourselves back into the swing of it. We're going to try a bit of a flatter route on our next long run. So this week what we're doing is we're alternating. So because of like sort of other commitments and because of injuries that we're both going through, we're not doing a long run every week. So this week is short run weekend, and then the week after is long run 14 miles. So we'll be planning something pretty special for our 14 miler, but I think it'll be mostly flat. So,
but yeah, this weekend I'm going to be doing probably a 10k to drop it down to 6 miles, because as I said before, I'm still coming back off injury. I do have quite a few black toes. I'm not looking forward to getting any more black toes. So yeah, just trying to take the pace up, the distance up,
And all our
slowly and gradually.
And all our long runs are increasing by 2 miles. Is that right? That's how we've planned it out, isn't it?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, we get all the way up to 22 in our plan.
so when you did your marathon training, what did you increase your long runs by? Sorry, Dave, that was...
It skipped out, sorry, I do apologise. I think I started around about 10.
Yeah.
Then went to about 12, 14. Every fourth week, I'd drop back by about 4 miles or so. And go back up to, after 14, it was... I think now. Yeah, drop back to about 10. Back up to 14 again, 16, 18. So about 2 miles each time. And then like an easy week every 4 weeks.
That 2 miles feels like it feels like the right amount of distance.
Yeah, it never feels like too much more.
Yeah, and that sounds like a good thing to me.
Last year I jumped from 16 to 20.5, and it did seem quite a lot. I kind of miscalculated how far the run was going to be, and ended up going. Oh, good that I got that far, but I think it. Hello?
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so we're going to do it every other week, so 2 miles is not such a big jump every other week. But I think it's good for your body to have that period of recovery. Obviously, on the off weeks, the tick weeks, then I'm going to do 10Ks or maybe even 10 miles.
Yeah. But and again, I've said this before, but just remember that if you're planning to run a marathon in like 3 hours or crazy quick time, this type of training is not suitable for you in any way. We're looking at this and approaching this in a slightly different way, because actually we're looking at almost survival. We're trying to get through the process, and although there is a goal, of sub 5 hours for the marathon, actually, if you want to run for a faster, sorry, I'm distracted by nipple. If you are wanting to run it faster, you need to train far different than what we do, and we will bring some people on the show in the next time to talk about training time.
Whatever your pace is, whatever your ability is, I don't believe that people don't enter the race with a set target or a time in mind. Even if they're planning on, enjoying the experience, they're still going to have a target time that they would like to do it in. Do you not agree with that?
I think most people do. Even if it's their first one. I think there's very few people who are kind of really not, don't even in their own minds have a kind of a goal in their mind in terms of what they want to do. But I think if you're happy around, in a steady way and enjoying the event, the training is going to be very, very different than if you're wanting to get around super quick. I think saying that, I think we've been talking that we're potentially going to go to track tomorrow night. So Stillwater's Run Deep. They have a track session on a Thursday, so there's a chance that we'll be at track tomorrow night. So maybe we're taking it a little bit more seriously.
My first track session tomorrow night.
Yes.
We should also mention that we are training basically for the marathon and not really training for the other races.
Right.
We're just going to be a little bit more casual about them, because is it fair to say we only really care about the marathon time, and the other races we don't feel as pressurised for the time.
Yeah,
Is that fair to say?
absolutely. The only thing I care about is
Yeah.
just the way it is. If someone's offering me 6 pieces of gold, I'm taking those 6 pieces of gold.
You do realise you've paid for them pieces of fake gold.
Absolutely, yeah. And I want them.
Well, next time when we do our 14-mile long run, I will make you a little medal to say that we have done over 13 miles, so you have a medal.
I feel like I would do that as well. So one of the key things that we wanted to talk about today, and we have kind of switched guests at fairly short time. So big thanks to Dave for taking in at the last minute. We're having some technical challenges connecting to America this week. But one of the things that we wanted to talk about this week, anyway, was race day prep in terms of what are the key things that you never ever want to forget to bring to a race. So it was quite fortunate actually that Dave was able to join us today, because Dave has a bit of an interesting story about this. So I think before we move on to the kind of things that we would like to put on race day, I think we're just going to hand over to Dave and tell us his story about what happened to him.
Well, I think it's quite important, first of all, to take Vaseline in a race, 'cause it can make things potentially more comfortable. When you run for a long time, things happen. Nipple tape is always good for that purpose as well. To keep your energy levels up, energy gels are quite handy as well. And my favourite thing to take to a race day is shorts, pretty much. I did, however, do my second marathon in a pair of tracksuit bottoms because I forgot to take them with me.
Well, just
hence why my friends call me Tracky Dave.
So just let's be really clear here. We're talking about this isn't their first marathon. This is their second marathon. They've run ample races, and they've turned up at an event without any race shots. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
What? How did you leave the house without this?
Well, I basically written a list in the morning of things I had to take to race day with me, and didn't write shorts on it because I thought they were a bit of a given, and therefore I didn't take any with me.
Yeah, I think this is the problem with like running pre-Instagram. This is what happened if you didn't Instagram your race day clothing.
But if I Instagrammed my race day kit, someone could have said, "Oh, you have no shorts, Dave."
So Instagram.
But Instagram wasn't about when I did that marathon.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So it's Instagram's fault that you ended up with no shorts. 100%.
Instagram would have said.
What was the thought process, Dave, when you suddenly had that "oh no" moment?
Well, I thought that it might be possible to buy some shorts from the stores I have before a marathon sometimes, like the Expo. But with the marathon being in Lancaster, and Lancaster not knowing what an Expo is, it didn't quite happen. So my next line of thought was either I don't do it or I run in tracksuit bottoms. So I ran it in tracksuit bottoms.
Nasty. Did you not try and ask any other races if they had spares?
I'd have been a bit embarrassed, but not as embarrassed as I was to run 26 miles in tracksuit bottoms.
Did it ever occur to you that perhaps you could get a pair of scissors and turn these tracksuit bottoms into shorts?
I'd also like to add that I ran 70 miles with that Vaseline with these tracksuit bottoms on.
So I believe that you acquired Vaseline partway through the race. What's that all about?
I did. There was a nice girl holding a tub of Vaseline, and then I proceeded to dip my hands in, and then dip my hands where it was needed,
I'm imagining that that's somewhere quite personal.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, rather shamefully, and I will never do that in front of a lady again.
Unapologetic Vaseline appliance lip sync.
It's got a rating with that, Stewart. Unapologetic Vaseline application.
A man's got to do what a man's got to do.
Yeah.
So, Stuart, tell us about your race day things. You've got you carry quite a lot of stuff that people laugh at usually.
Yeah, I'm known for carrying the most stuff out of anybody. A few things that I won't forget. I brought them with me today. Body Glide. This is so much better than Vaseline. Vaseline just doesn't work for me. Manchester Marathon last year, I was running it as a relay and I got nipple bleeding. And I just kind of screamed, "Has anyone got any Vaseline?" And some kind person just magically appeared with Vaseline, but that didn't work, and I still ended the race looking kind of gory. And everyone's face is like, "Oh, look at him! Poor man!" So, I use Body Glide for my chafing, and I use spot plasters for my nipples. I've tried a lot of different things, but these are the only things that work for me. They're like little round circles.
They're not actually nipple plasters, are they?
No, they are just basically spot plasters, round plasters, 1 inch. Sorry, 1 centimetre.
And you get them from America as well, don't you?
Yes, but you can get them here. They're from Walmart, but you can get them in Asda.
That's amazing.
Well, they're the same company, so you can go buy them yourself.
No, and actually, I never have that problem. I never have the problem with nipple plasters because I always run the base layer, and never have any friction on the nipple. So I've always been very lucky with that.
Well, that would just make me hot and sweaty.
Indeed. So we've got nipple plasters.
What else? Nipple plasters, Vaseline. Your GPS watch. You should never forget your GPS watch, and make sure you charge it beforehand.
That's very, very good advice. Charge your GPS.
And always check your signal when you arrive at the race so that it starts, because otherwise you'll be like, "I need signal, I need signal."
That is a really good point, actually. Some really good advice. So what I always do, the way I always deal with it is, when I turn up to the race start, usually about an hour to 40 minutes before the race, I always connect my watch to the GPS at that point in time, because once you're connected to the GPS, most of Garmin, they remember that location, so that when you then connect it at the start of the race, it remembers where it was and it connects to the GPS much quicker. So as soon as you arrive at the GPS, and it will remember that and you have to a bit more efficient because of it.
Otherwise, you end up doing the GPS dance.
Yeah.
Signal, signal, I need signal. Which is not something you want to be doing as you're about to learn, as the counting down, as Disney's about to set off the fireworks. You don't want to be waiting for GPS. Okay. My next one is nutrition stroke drink. I always carry a bottle of Lucozade. This is not actually available in America, but it's like Powerade. It's my preferred choice. So I always make sure I have my own version of that. Sometimes they'll supplement flavors, which I don't like. So always keep your bottle and never throw it away. And don't even chance taking everybody else's, the stuff that they hand to you on race day, because you might not like it. It might be a horrible flavor. Stick with what you know. Finally.
Disney races tend to be blue power, don't they?
Well, at the water stations, because they have water stations at Disney races every mile or so,
It's every mile.
They have water at the start, and then you run a bit further, and then they have Powerade. But the thing about Disney is it's always in cups, and they are impossible to drink and run at the same time. So I carry my own bottle.
Yeah, if you can drink out of one of those Disney cups and run at the same time, you're a much better person than I am. It's impossible.
And you've probably got a wet T-shirt and a wet face. And my final item, never to forget on race day. But you don't need to run with this. Well, you can run with this, but I don't. Toilet roll, or bog roll as we call it here.
Imodium.
Do you know, Dave has a really good Imodium tip. So I'm gonna interrupt Stewart's toilet roll explanation for Dave to give us an Imodium tip.
Yeah, Imodium, 1 for a half, 2 for a full. If it's a 10k or 5k, you can wait.
There you go. You heard it here first. Back to Stewart's toilet roll.
The toilet roll is not for... it's for emergency to decorate the portable toilets that they have become habitable. If anyone's seen American Pie and the Finch episode in the toilets, that's what it is for. Because them toilets are horrific, and you don't want to be there, so it's kind of like an extra layer of padding.
Yeah, I think one of the other things as well, actually, if you're going to visit the toilets before you go to bag drop, it's worth sticking a torch in your bag. However ridiculous that sounds, it's really, really dark at 5 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, and there's no lights in the porta potties. Now, porta potties are pretty grim, and if you're in a porta potty and you can't see, that's a little bit worse. So if you can be bothered to bring a torch, it's probably worth doing that.
And if you're going to use your phone instead of a torch, make sure you don't drop it.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Do not drop it. Well, my 5 things. I think Stuart's mentioned a couple of things that are obvious ones like Garmin's and stuff, but I kind of didn't want to repeat those. So the 5 things that I've put here are safety pins or event clips. So if you've not seen event clip, they're a small circular piece of plastic that connects your bib, your shirt or your shorts, and rather than pinching holes like a safety pin does, they press off the back. I think that noise you can hear, especially with the video. I think Stuart's trying to find it in the box. So yeah, I really recommend the event clips. But the thing I would say with event clips, always carry safety pins as well, because with event clips, if you put holes in it, event clip is no good. Have you found them, Fraser?
I found them!
Yay!
Let's have a look.
Actually, I've only found half of one. No, I found them. So they look like this. Now, obviously, if you're listening to this on the podcast, you're just going to have to, on iTunes, you're just going to have to imagine it, or you're going to have to watch this on YouTube. But that's what they look like. They're little clips.
Yeah.
Is that called the Popeye clip?
I'm not quite sure. Basically, it's 2 pieces of plastic that are connected by a hole in the back, and the hole is smaller than the thing that goes in it. Therefore, but they're really good. They're quite popular at like the adventure races, things like Tough Mudder, and because they don't tend to come off, whereas safety pins do tend to. But I would say always carry the event clip and always take safety pins. Most races will give you safety pins, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes enough, or sometimes one. So always have a supply of those. The other thing that I always have, I have a little bag with my event tips and my safety pins, and in that bag I also have a zip tie as well, because quite honestly, you never know when you'll need a zip tie. So I always keep a zip tie in there as well. My second thing is phone. So I always carry a phone in the morning for a number of reasons. You know, you might need it for safety. You might need to ring for help. You might want to take a photograph. You might want to listen to music. You might want to text a friend. You might want to take some selfies and send some news. Whatever it is you want to do. But yeah, ultimately, you might want to use your phone. So I always say take your phone. That's quite important. Number 3 is food for race. So especially with bigger races like marathons and half marathons, it's really important that you fuel. So in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to do a nutrition episode, and pretty much all we're going to talk about is nutrition. And one of the big things with nutrition is eating on the race, eating while you run. So always carry food. A lot of people use gels, but actually, you know, you should probably carry real food in a marathon as well, and you need to train with that food and get used to it. So when we did our one weekend, I started trying some raisins and some dates just to sort of see how they settled, and I'm going to kind of experiment with a few things as we go over the next few weeks. So food for during the race is number 3.
You definitely need food when you're doing the marathon. I think Disney give it you like 22.5 or 23.5 miles. They give you some chocolate. By that point, you're pretty much exhausted. They might have given you gels a few miles before, but your chocolate comes kind of a bit too late, and it's not the easiest of things to eat chocolate. You don't want it in your hands, and it's all melted, and you're like, and then you have to. It's wrapped, so you have to try and unwrap it.
I think this is the big thing that you get when you're running. If you have a gel, let's say you take a gel which is simple sugars, there's about 30 grams of carbohydrate in that gel. Now, when you eat it takes about 20 minutes to get into your system. And then that carbohydrate, 30 grams of carbohydrate, lasts about 20 minutes. And then it's depleted, and you're back to square one of having the energy again. And that all happens very quick. Your glycogen stores are probably empty after about an hour and 20 minutes on race day. So when you set off and you're running it after your breakfast in the morning, you know, that first hour and 20 minutes, you're burning glycogen and energy, which is fine. But then after that period of time, then you're using fat. Your body is then using fat to work your way through the rest of the exercise. And burning fat is a very, very difficult process for your body. Like, it might sound great, everybody wants to burn a little bit of fat, but actually it's really difficult, and that's when you get tired. So you need to keep putting carbohydrate back into your body. But if you think about it, it takes 20 minutes to digest, and then 20 minutes and it's gone. You essentially need to be continually necking those. If you're eating gels, you be constantly eating gels. Or, you know, Stewart drink that you've got there with me today. There's about 30 grams of carbohydrate in there as well. So again, in principle, you're having a lot of that as well. So the energy is good because we've got electrolytes, but food is really important. So, and my personal choice would be dual dates. Dual dates are ideal for races because they're really carry their principle. You can prepare them in advance. They have a good dose of electrolytes as well. The dried ones will make you want to drink more fluid. Fluid is really important. So, me, a constant supply of Majula dates is probably the way to go. However, that is a lot of fibre you're going to take in over that period of the race, so you may need to stop some food. Everyone's got to poop. Everyone's got to poop.
Yeah, but you don't really want to poo on a marathon in a porta potty.
You've got to do what you got to do.
Well, you have to do what you've got to do, but you don't choose to do that.
So, my fourth thing is food again. So I'm actually using food twice. So
You're such a foodie.
I am. I love food. But the reason that I put food again as number 4 is you need food for after the race. So don't forget to put in your bag some food for after the race. You'll be absolutely starving. So whether you're just doing 10K, you're doing 10K before, maybe it's your first half, maybe it's your 15th half, or maybe you're doing the marathon for the first time or your 100th time. But whatever race that you're running, you need to pack some food for after the race. I can't stress how important that. If you run any of those races at race pace, and however quick the race pace is, it doesn't matter. Like if you're running a race at race pace, you're going to be fucking starving at the end. So pack some food for after. Bananas are good, but they don't travel very well. I'm not really a big advocate of protein these days, but a protein shake tends to work quite well as well. You basically just want something that's going to refuel yourself very, very quickly.
Well, we should point out that Disney does actually give water and bananas and a box after the race, but that might not be to what your preference. You won't actually know what is in the box, which is like this thing, until you get there. Sometimes, I mean, I think it was last year at the Princess race, there were no boxes for one of the race because one of the items was out of date, so they had to bin all the boxes, or at least empty them for the next race. So it's always better to stick with what you know and make sure that you bring it with you.
So, number 5, my last is dry pants. And when I say pants, so there's nothing worse than leaving a race in sweaty shorts. Nothing at all. So I can't speak for women. Ladies, you need to tell us your experience. But as a guy, you need a pair of dry pants at the end of the race.
Or do what I do and wear them for the race.
Or I'll do what Dave does and wear them during the race. But yeah, absolutely. I always take a pair of feet checking bag. Always stick a pair of box shorts in there or whatever else, and then just get changed at the end. Nobody likes to be sitting there, especially when you've got a drive. So they're my 5 things: event clips, safety pins, a phone, food, and dry pants.
So you're gonna make me repeat mine.
I
can't remember. You'll have to rewind.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. Is there anything else between us that we recommend people bring?
Positivity, really. When you're at that starting line, it's the most important thing is you've actually made it to the starting line. So be positive, be confident. You're gonna get there. One foot in front of the other. Go for it.
Cool. So,
anything else you think we should add, Dave?
What's that say?
Anything else that people should bring on race day?
No, just definitely take shorts.
I can get behind that. Cool. So, in the hot topic section this week, just a reminder that if you've got questions that you want to ask us, you can tweet them to us. Use the @runStewart Twitter account. If you email those questions to Stewart, we can flip through them and add a few in the show.
That's Stewart with a W.
Stewart with a W, yeah, STEWART. It's all the links are down below and in the description on iTunes and SoundCloud. So we've got 2 questions this week. The first one is about marathon training. So we'll ask Dave because he's the expert one here with marathon training. So Dave, should you run 26 miles in training?
No. I personally don't think it's needed. Past a certain point, when you're doing the training, it's the general build-up of miles that helps you cover that one distance on race day. it's not actually covering the distance in training that does it for you. The furthest I ran was 20 miles about 3 times and 1:22. I think once you've gone past, say, 20 or 22, you cause a bit too much fatigue, and it affects your training, like, going forward. Yeah, so just stick to, I think I'd stick for 20. If you want a bit more confidence, like, mentally, go for 22 by all means, but not often.
And Stuart, how far have you ever gone when you did the marathon last year?
Well, I've only ever done one marathon, so my training last year, I think I did 2 20s and 1:23. I just needed that little extra mileage just to know that I could get that far. But I would definitely not do 26. That is your glory moment. You don't want to kind of throw that away in training. That's what you're working for. So yeah, you want to save that. Plus, it's gonna really hurt your body. It'll take a lot out of you. So save that for the day.
How far are we doing? 22 is our longest, isn't it?
Sorry, say that again.
Our longest run this time is going to be 22, isn't it?
22, yeah. Definitely. 22. Although we might do 22 and a half.
I think as well, I think with a bit more of experience, I did my first 2 marathons, I went up to about 23, maybe 24. Having done more, I've got the confidence that I can just do like 20 instead. So I think it's like an experience thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you never know how you're going to feel when you get to that 22-mile point. So it's good to have some experience of that. But you also get, yeah, well, I was saying last week, you get a little bit delirious. You don't really remember half of the race from that point.
No, absolutely. I think the longest I've ever run, just over 19 miles. So, yeah, not too bad.
I will say, when I did my first half marathon, I did actually do a training run of 13.1 miles beforehand, and it kind of took away the glory. So I think you should always save it for race day.
Yeah, I agree. The consensus is no, you should have done 26 miles. The next question that we picked out this week is about keeping warm, and I think this is really relevant if you're in the Disney races, because although Florida has no weather essentially, it's just hot all the time. It does in the early morning. It gets really, really cold. So the question is, do you wear arm or long sleeves?
Back to me.
I think you are probably the best placed person to answer this one.
Well, it depends on the race that you're training, that you're running. On the 5K, I would definitely set. Well, you have to take into account the weather. If the weather was like it was last year on the 5K and the 10K, it was very cold, and it's going to be cold at 5:30 in the morning in January. So I would say long sleeves for the 5K and long sleeves possibly for the 10K, depending on how, you know, whether you're a cold person or a warm person. Arm warmers are probably best for the half marathon and the full marathon, because then you can just kind of keep them on for maybe up to 10K, and then you can whip them off once you're nice and warm. That's what I would do, but I tend to get quite warm anyway. I never run in a base layer, so yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I did last year, actually. I had tattoo sleeves, and I got rid of them at, I don't know, it was just when we were hitting the Magic Kingdom.
But Dave, your experience running, I know you've done a couple of off-road marathons as well. Is that something you've ever had to consider, long sleeves versus kind of arm warmers, that type of stuff?
It's not really, no. When it's winter and I'm training, I do wear long sleeve top set. But if I had arm warmers, at least you can take them off.
Yeah.
Well, not dispose of them, but conceal them a lot better. Yeah, but I've never really worn anything but a long sleeve shirt when it gets colder.
Makes sense. I tend to always wear base layers, even if it's really really hot. I always have a base layer under my shirt, and everyone laughs at me, but I never get nipple rash, and I'm quite used to it. I quite enjoy having the two layers on. The long sleeves on the base layers fold up quite easily. You can pull them right up, and because it's light material, they do tend to stay up. So that is an option. I think arm warmers are probably a good option if you've got some way to carry them. Trail shorts are probably a good bet for marathons because they have lots of pockets, or potentially a bum bag, or in America you guys call it a fly pack, but whatever you want to call it, a small bag that sits on just above your bum on the bottom of your back isn't going to do any harm on a long race like a marathon. Probably not a rucksack, bum bag would be better. Cool. I think that answers those two questions.
Last year I got basically were like tights for my arms that had fake tattoos on. You can get them on eBay for a couple of dollars.
Yeah, I think you
just whip them up and throw them away.
You got them as like a Halloween fancy dress.
Yeah, they were a Halloween thing. So it's probably a really good time to try and look for them now. Yeah. But they were really good. In fact, I'm sorry that I had to throw them.
You'll get them again, I'm sure.
I will look on eBay for some right now.
So, if you've got any questions, don't forget, keep them at us at runStewart, post them in the YouTube comments, post them on iTunes, or any other way you can find us. All the links are posted down below for on social media. So links to us are on Strava and Instagram and Twitter and all those different places. They're all down there. So please, post your questions and we'll do our best to answer them. We can't obviously answer every question, but we do try and answer a few. So next week, Stewart, what's that line?
A long run, some more reviews, possibly one or two guests. We were meant to have Sean on tonight, but due to technical difficulties, he had to bow out at the last minute. So hopefully we'll have Sean next week, and we're sorry he didn't make it this week, but thanks to Dave for stepping in. We appreciate it. I'm hoping to get some new shoes this week, so maybe I'll have a chance to review them for next week. Or at least give you first impressions.
Cool. And I'm placing an order on the AliExpress website for some cycling gear, but also part of that package is going to be sunglasses. So next week I'll tell you about what I've been ordering from AliExpress. I'll be taking to Dopey with me if I can ever arrive. Just like that.
We do actually need to take a bit of time to talk about whether sunglasses, sunblock, all that type of stuff. Because by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in Florida, it is hot. So we need to discuss that at some point in a future episode.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you again to Dave. If people want to follow Dave, how can they follow you, Dave?
So I was just messing about with my orange ball. 1 minute. Where's it gone?
Yes, Dave is on Instagram at TrackyDave.
Yeah, Instagram, TrackyDave. And
are you on Strava?
What's that, Strava? As Dave Bendy, I think, or Dave Bendy? I can't remember.
Well,
let me check that.
We'll find.
We can put all that in the links down below.
Yeah, indeed.
I'm Stewart at runStewart on Twitter, at Stewart Anthony on Instagram, on everything else. We will put the links down below.
And I think I'm the Jason Hearn on everything, but the links are down below for that as well. So that pretty much draws episode 3 to an end. We will see a bunch of you guys in 90 days at the expo. As we get a little bit closer, we will share some details of the official Dopey meetup that the Facebook group organised, and we will be there with our crazy British accents. I'm sure you will all love them.
I think we need to have a road to Dopey, either a meet-up beforehand or a celebration party or something, so that all of our listeners can get together and have a celebration.
Indeed, and that will be in the Starbucks all over it.
But in order to do that, you need to get in contact with us. So if you want to contact us, make sure you comment, like, share, subscribe, and get in touch. I think that's pretty much it for today.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody. It's goodbye from me, Stewart.
And goodbye from you. And goodbye from
me.
Yeah, it is.
And as we like to say here on Road to Dopey, keep running. Bye.
See you next week.
See you in a bit.